I'm Adriana. So my topic is about beggars and panhandlers. My theme is about how helping the homeless actually keeps them on the street rather than off. So every day we most likely see a homeless person on the street. I know I do. Most with the sign, for example, saying, "Lost my house, no job, anything will help, God bless you." We see cars backed up on the freeway, about 2 to 3 of them handing out money to the homeless individual. Does giving them money really keep them off the streets? So the truth is, by giving people on the street money, you are not actually helping them and only making their situation worse without even realizing it. The money you gave them 9 out of 10 times will be spent on their addictions like drugs, alcohol, and returns just helps them keep the cycle that'll last on forever in their life. I will discuss the facts about how much beggars actually make per day, about how helping the panhandlers actually increase the rate of drug and alcohol use on the streets and help their addiction. So, how much do panhandlers make? So, a daily money earned panhandling, according to recent studies, make the most up to $40, between $40 and $100 per hour. The least would be $10 per hour up to $25 per hour. Some studies I found in South Africa, a study found that beggars could make the equivalent of $18 per day begging in South Africa. In 2008, a report stated that some Oregon beggars outside of Walmart can make up to $300 per day, which equals to $100K per year. So, and some actually we see some of them with dogs right next to them, which makes people feel sorry for them even more because they have a pet with them. Some use these props to help generous strangers give more. A study I found regarding a police officer who chatted with a homeless man who said he makes up to $70 a day while standing on a sidewalk near an exit on the interstate highway. Sometimes he would make more than $100. This man had an arm missing from a motorcycle accident when he was in his 20s. He's now in his 60s, which makes the perfect fit for the look of a Vietnam War veteran with his missing arm and his camouflage clothing and holding an American flag on the side of the road. He admitted that he gets a lot more money just by wearing this, and he even receives disability checks to the tune of $1,000 a month as well. Plus, he's getting free food from shelters, so this allowed him to spend his money on alcohol each night and pocket the rest in his savings account. This is all non-taxed income for these people while we're working minimum job wages or whatever amount of money income getting taxed, while these people are just pocketing this money that we are just giving to them freely. Most panhandlers even have a shift as well for how long each day they're going to be out for begging. They switch off with other beggars and they actually have a schedule. So the street life increases substances use, although substance can also lead to the streets. According to a study found 80% time we give a beggar money, it is used for alcohol and drugs. A study done for a survey that carried out a 2-city community-based interview of about 531 adults that were interviewed of homeless people. The study didn't include anyone who was abusive, psychotic, or actually intoxicated at the time of the interview. Each participant got $5 in cash or equivalent in bus tokens for completing the interview. So out of the 531 adults interviewed, the individuals who reported more drug and alcohol use were significantly most likely to be non-veterans without health insurance and to have been homeless for longer than 12 months or have been arrested in the previous 12 months and reported drug and alcohol use being the major reasons why they are homeless. Also more likely to use alcohol or heroin and to report stealing or selling plasma to support their addiction. The homeless that reported not using drugs anymore was because they weren't even able to afford the substance now that they were homeless. Substance abuse is a big reason most are homeless because it is a significant risk factor that decreases a person's ability to respond to life challenges, which was reported from the interview as well, which is bills, rent, they're taking care of their family. So in fact, it is not wrong to help someone in need. One wants to help someone who claims to not have food, who is starving, but behind closed doors, this is a business going on, and panhandlers are making a good income and using it on the wrong things to keep them on the streets.
Okay. It's supposed to be 6 minutes.
Yeah, let's count down from 6 minutes.
All right, well, the proposition is identified, although initially you make it sound like you're going to be giving an informative speeches. Sometimes people do this. They have a tendency to use the word how something is going to happen instead of making the declarative claim. I do think when you got to the proposition, you finally gave us a declarative. There is a preview. There are just two supporting points that you suggest support your position. The first one, when you got to it, you signposted pretty clearly in the body of the speech, and then there's some information that you present, descriptions that you provide on that. The second one, I think, got lost. It doesn't mean that there wasn't some of it there, but it's not really distinctively labeled in the body of the speech. And so if somebody's not listening closely, it would be easy for them to miss, and you probably want to highlight that a little bit more. You basically explain the assumptions behind your argument, and you give a lot of hypothetical examples and illustrations to show the kinds of things that could be going on. There's a little bit less certainty in some of the information that you've got. The last study that you cited at least explained how they got their information. I don't remember there being a very clear citation on it, but it seemed to me like there was some sort of citation. But everything that came before it, the citations are recent studies, or it's been reported, or an example here in South Africa, and you need to cite the sources on this information so that we could evaluate the source and, for example, the people who are going to be responding to it could check it. Now, of course, they're getting an outline which will have the bibliography in it, but we won't get a chance to assess that just as listeners, and it would probably enhance your credibility a bit, that you're not just speaking off the top of your head, but that you have actual information that supports this. Like I said, the last study I thought was a little bit more effective because it explained what the procedure was. It gave us some statistical analysis of the information that came about, and we knew how many people were part of the research, so that gives it a little bit more credibility. You do a pretty good job looking at the audience at the end of the speech. I thought you had a very clear summary of the position, so you're finishing with a clear argument there. I suspect that there'll be a dispute on some of the issues on homelessness. Like you started on the first part, you said 9 out of 10 spend their money on addictions, and then later on, the one piece of evidence that you have that you cite says 80%. So there seems to be a discrepancy in your own information there, and the 80% seems like it's the more reliable information. You want to be careful about that. Also, I didn't do the math in my head, but you had a calculation of somebody based on making $300 a day, making $100,000 a year. I'd have to do the math, but it didn't sound like it was going to be quite as high as you're suggesting there. So just be careful about the little things like that to keep your ethos high. All right, thank you.